getting you ready for Super Bowl 60 this weekend in Santa Clara, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And yes, to take out the microscope on the game once again. Line open, Joe, 4.5. Line sits, 4.5. Total, 46.5. We had to move down to 45.5, which it still sits there today. Hump Day Wednesday, money will pour in later in the week. A slightly different ticket deviation here from 70% of the tickets on Seattle down to 68% of the tickets now on Seattle. So there's a slight move there. But, Joe, your spread line for Super Bowl Sunday is what?
Yeah, Adani had talked to the guys in the risk room again yesterday, and they are convinced, get that over money in sooner rather than later. They don't see this thing dropping any lower than the 45 or 45.5 in the market. They are thinking much closer to 46.5, 47 when it's all said and done, which means not only the public money, but there could be some sharp money sitting on the sidelines for the total. But they still don't anticipate a whole lot of craziness with the spread there, Donnie. They're anticipating 4.5, 5, depending on the part of the country, regionally, also in the sports books that you're working with. You might see a half a point tick up, obviously, or tick down in the Northeast. You know you're going to get a lot more New England money. Out West, you're going to get more Seattle money. So choose accordingly.
Super Bowl 60 this Sunday, trying to ramp it up, trying to get excited here. Maybe not at the level that we see in the previous years where it was superstar team versus superstar team. We're expecting a very competitive game in Santa Clara between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Once again, if we take a look at that game board here, a 4.5-point favorite as the technically road team, Seattle Seahawks at -4.5 in that total of 45.5. I'm interested to see where that line goes. I don't know, Joe, if we're getting back to the 5s or higher, which you like to call no man's land. I'm thinking we might get some money coming in late week on the New England Patriots. Am I wrong that we might be more likely to see 4s than we do 5s? I don't know.
And again, I think regionally is a good point, Donnie, because I can tell you the books in the Northeast here, or really east of the Mississippi, likely going to see some Patriot money, more Patriot money than Seattle money by the public. And if anything is going to push it, that is likely going to push it there. But I would imagine, and we've already seen it, Donnie, that the public is already out in full force, and the books are already saying it. They are going to be a very big public favorite. So for the most of the country and most of the books, Donnie, it appears that Seattle is going to get all of the public love when they start going to the window. But as far as maybe some of the pro money, that may be what equalizes it. So I think we see more line freeze than we see crazy line movement here.
Let's take a look at the head-to-head matchup between these two head coaches here. Mike Vrabel, 73-51. Mike Macdonald, 26-10. If you're asking me who has the better coaching resume, well, maybe it's Vrabel, who's been around longer, but the better team in this organizational matchup, it's going to be with Seattle and Mike Macdonald for me, Joe.
Yeah, but and what we know is that in the Super Bowl, history tells us the best team doesn't always win, and it certainly doesn't mean that they always cover. So I do think that there is no way around it. Vrabel, not only as a player, but now his second go-around as a head coach, it's obvious he has the command and the attention of that team, a very young team. And we always say, Donnie, right? Teams take on the persona of their head coach, right? McDonald's a defensive guy. Vrabel's a defensive guy. It is not a shock that both these teams begin and end with defense, right? But, you know, then there's the OCs here. Kubiak has been great, going to take on the job of the Raiders. But, you know, how many did we say yesterday that McDaniel's been in now? That's a ton of experience there, Donnie, for a young quarterback. That's crazy.
Exactly. Yep. Mike Macdonald, who once coached in Baltimore under John Harbaugh. Here's him talking about that Harbaugh influence.
I don't think it's possible to overstate his influence on me. I love John Harbaugh. He's one of my biggest mentors. Was willing to take chances on me when other people weren't, and invested in me and my career throughout, and stretched, you know, like the things that I felt like I could do. He had a vision for me in my career that I probably didn't have for myself, and all those principles that are part of his program that he's about as a person resonated with me, and those are a lot of the foundational principles that we brought to Seattle. And he's a great friend. He's got a great family. So I can't tell you how much I love him.
By the way, taking a look at that, can we get, let's just say, still shot of Macdonald talking right there? Can we put a still shot up here? Because I just want to bring something up about, fitness. Like, is he wearing a muscle suit, or is he the most jacked head coach in the history of professional sports, Joe? Like, what does he got? Like 42-inch pythons? Like, what are we doing here? He looks like he's enormous. I don't know.
I mean, my
look at
goodness,
the arms.
look at that. Yeah. You know what? Now you're kind of making me think that maybe him and Vrabel in a Royal Rumble might not be that could be a pay-per-view ticket worth paying for there. Better than anything we saw with the Pro Bowl games last night. That's for sure.
Jacked up head coaches, which means teams coming out hot in the Super Bowl, that's going to make a big difference. You want the lead at halftime to make those adjustments to carry on and win a Super Bowl. Look at the spreads in the first half here, Joe. Seahawks -3.5 in a total. That's listed at 23.5, putting you right on those hooks, man. Joe, if I gave you a free bet first half, +3.5 or -3.5, where are you going?
Yeah, I would probably look at the under here, Donnie. I do think that that is going to have some value. I think there's a few different ways to line up your bets from a prop betting perspective and what you think is going to happen in this game, where it could be a very profitable Sunday for you if this is your first time going with it. A lot of correlation in this game, Donnie.
A lot of correlation, a lot of things to figure out. You got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then you have no more professional football until we see these guys back in September. We got you covered here. It's what we do on the SportsGrid Network. The early line. We'll be right back. The Super Bowl, which will be dominated yearly in the late 80s and early 1990s here by the NFC. So you might find yourself, Joe, thinking like, hey, the NFC's got a huge lead in who's won the Lombardi over the AFC or vice versa. How about this graphic? Will the Seahawks add another Lombardi to the NFC's lead, or the Patriots even it back up for the AFC? Did you know, Joe? 28 Super Bowl championships here for the NFC, 27 for the AFC. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty close, right down the middle, right? And obviously the game has changed. The rules have changed, especially over the last decade here. But still, that's pretty impressive after all the changes, Donnie, that were almost 50-50. With a chance to even it up this year is actually pretty impressive.
The New England Patriots are the LeBron James of the NFL. Is that possible here? Take a look at this graphic. Depending on the outcome of Super Bowl 60, the Patriots will either have the most wins or most losses in Super Bowl history. Let's just say 6 wins, 6 losses. How about that? Do you get credit for going to the Super Bowl? Because LeBron James never gets credit for making it to the NBA Finals unless he wins it.
Well, that's because, the Patriots are in uncharted territory. LeBron is being compared to, the GOAT, which would be Michael Jordan, who, every time he made it, he won. So there is a difference there. But I would say that you got to be in it to win it, Donnie, right? Isn't that the bottom line? And nobody has been in it more than the Patriots have over the last couple of decades. So it just shows you they got something rolling there.
How about this? Gets back to Eagles fans. It always does. Milton Williams finds himself in the Super Bowl damn near every single year. Here's Milton, the star defensive tackle of the New England Patriots, talking about Eagles fans.
I'll probably say to be things New England is probably more passionate, but Philly fan, like, they don't care about that. They gonna do whatever. They gonna it's like it's even, but like I feel like the Patriots fan, they don't want to get in trouble. Philly fan, they don't care about that. They don't care if they go to jail or do whatever.
So he basically said Eagles fans aren't as passionate, but then again, Philly fans don't care. They're so passionate they'll go to jail for their team. Sounds like Milton just, and by the way, he's a professional athlete in playing for the Patriots in a Super Bowl. What did you want him to say? Was he supposed to come out like, look, man, I took the bag in New England. Yeah, we're here in the Super Bowl. Fans suck. Rather be in Philadelphia. No, of course he's going to tell you that, Joe.
Yeah, well, and listen, I think there is some truth to it here. I mean, they can both be extremely passionate fans, but Philadelphia, that fan base has been known to maybe kick it up a notch there, and I don't know, egg coordinators' houses and things along those lines. So but again, I'll never forget when the Patriots signed him there and got him, and boy, oh boy, the Patriot media there in New England was like, this is just what a waste this is. My goodness, what a waste of money. I don't think it was a waste of money here, Donnie. Call me crazy. And maybe, just maybe, the Eagles could have used his services once again.
And by the way, Kevin Patullo, the offensive coordinator, is no longer the offensive coordinator. He is lucky that we actually have a couple Super Bowls under our belts because we're getting soft now. You're egging houses. That might have been if we never won Molotov cocktails, bricks, and stones, and even driving cars into people's houses at this point. So we have mellowed with our Super Bowl championships here. But how about let's flip it back to the Super Bowl here and Super Bowl 60. John Gruden used to be a head coach in the NFL. John Gruden does have a ring on his finger, but John Gruden also had Rich Gannon as a quarterback while he was a head coach. Here, look at this. Let's run into Gruden and also Gannon on the streets of San Francisco.
Hey, I'm walking down San Francisco. I'm here for the Super Bowl, and I run into this guy. I mean, the last time I saw Rich Gannon, we were fighting on the sideline, man. How the hell are you?
I'm walking down the street. I'm minding my own business. I'm getting ready to go back to my hotel, and some guy's yelling at me. I think, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Somebody wants an autograph. More importantly, I'm in the Bay Area. Somebody's going to yell at me, go, the Raiders suck.
I'm
and all of a sudden, I
going.
turn around. He says, check the ball down. Throw it. Don't hold it. I'm like, wait a minute. I know that voice.
Hey, we're going to the Oakland Coliseum. We're going to go revisit some of our greatest memories.
Dude, that place was special. Huh?
That was, wasn't it?
The only I love the place so much. The only thing that I get some chills sometimes is when I'm out there, Blue 85, Blue 85. And he's always going, no, get the team for the Yankee casino,
We're
no.
playing Tennessee on Monday Night Football. He's going easy. Hey, 98 bunch crunch. He goes, shut the f up, Blue 85. You remember that?
Steve Wisniewski was like this. He goes,
Yeah.
what?
I love you, man.
I love you, brother.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get together soon.
See you guys.
Yeah. What was your snap count? Let's hear it.
I had a good one, bro.
Let me hear it.
Set. Blue 85. Blue 85. Hot.
Love you, Gannon. See you, man.
I'll text you. Okay.
What a
great.
gift and a curse it must have been to play under John Gruden because you probably had some really good times, but boy, when he was angry, wanted to get his point across, he must have been such an SOB to play for, man.
Yeah, he was, we all noticed the Signetti expressions, right? On the sideline as the head coach. That was Gruden before Signetti. Nobody had the better facial expressions on the sideline than John Gruden. And now Signetti is cut from that cloth, but my goodness, who was filming that, by the way? Just somebody show
Pretty
up
good.
randomly and just film that, be like, oh, it's Rich Gannon. Oh, look at that. It's his coach. That's absolutely priceless.
Which is great because you're on a city street and somebody's yelling at you. He's like, man, that voice sounds familiar. And of course, it's Gruden. And they can remind themselves of plays 25 years ago as if it was yesterday. That shows a pretty good connection right there between the two, which means quarterbacks in the Super Bowl rising to the occasion. We got two pretty good quarterbacks this one. Sam Darnold looking to say, you know what? I was thrown on the scrap heap. I am about to be a Super Bowl champion and maybe Super Bowl MVP. And then there's Drake Maye. Hey, I'm barely in this league, and I'm already going to start winning big with a Super Bowl process here and maybe an MVP myself. Take a look at these passing props for both of these guys. Haven't changed much, Joe, over the past 2 days. You see the 20.5 passing prop here for Drake Maye and 228.5 for Sam Darnold. Touchdown passes comparable, plus 134 for 2 touchdown passes from Maye, minus 108 for 2 touchdown passes from Sammy D.
Yeah, and listen, it just depends on game script and what you think is going to happen here. Now, I do think both quarterbacks are going to have to get it done here because I don't believe that Seattle and Kenneth Walker are going to have a ton of room to run in this game. And, on the other side there, I think it's going to be difficult for Ramondre Stevenson and company to be able to get it done. But it's going to have to be about the explosive plays, right? So both these guys could rack up a lot of stats, Donnie, along the way in this game, because ultimately it might just come down to which one of them makes the big play there through the air and who doesn't.
Two good rushing defenses coming into this football game for Super Bowl 60. Kenneth Walker III as a running back. His number is coming down a little bit here, Joe. 73.5 is his rushing prop. The lead dog in the backfield here for the Patriots feels like it is Ramondre Stevenson taking over that role. He's at 49.5, but lurking there. Travion Henderson only 17.5 yards. His number dwindled in that previous game they played in the AFC Championship game. But do we see any pathway to victory, Joe, for one of these running backs on a prop betting market?
Well, we know Henderson, right, is the big play guy, the explosive play guy. He can rip one off. That it feels like a light number. And we did just see, let's not forget, I mean, we did see Seattle kind of all of a sudden bend, don't break. It wasn't like the Rams didn't put up a ton of points on them here. But if I was going to look at anybody in that prop market for yardage, it might be the tight ends, Donnie. They might have the most success here, more so than the running backs in this spot.
Taking a look at some of those wide receiver positions here. Jackson Smith and Jigba, by far and away the lead dog. 93.5 as he's listed here with his receiving prop. Stephon Diggs, 44.5, and a lot of value down across the board. And the guy that always sticks out is, hey, guys, maybe you want to use Rashid Shaheed. He's only listed at 21.5 on the odds board.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the Hunter Henry. I like the Varner. I like those props, Donnie, up and over. They are going to be the safety valve, so to speak, here with guys. And we saw what the tight ends, by the way, of the Rams did to that defense of Seattle. I am sure McDaniel noticed as well.
They aren't taking any factors here. Touchdown prop market, Joe. Kenneth Walker III at -195. They're basically telling you, don't bet this guy. He's going to score. Take somebody else. We'll certainly go over a lot more of these prop bets and more right here on the early line on the SportsGrid Network. Getting ready for Super Bowl 60. The brothers coaching in the NFL. It's the LaFleur brothers. And all you need to do is be tethered to Sean McVay out there for the Los Angeles Rams, and you get yourself a head coaching job. It's worked out pretty well for most of them. Here's Matt talking about being a head coach.
If I had walked in the house in Mount Pleasant and said one of you is going to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, one would be the coach of the Green Bay Packers, you would have said what?
I'd say you're full of it's just, yeah, it is pretty surreal. I mean, just humble beginnings. My dad at Central Michigan. I walked on at Western Michigan and played at D2 ball. Mike played at Elmhurst College, D3 ball. And I think we have a really great appreciation for just guys that are essentially playing for the love of the game. And I think that is kind of in our core and who we are. And then we've been so fortunate to be around.
How about that? Talking about his brother. And by the way, he did fly out to go to his brother's press conference here, how much it meant to him and the family. And we also have another video here with Mike L., the brother, talking about the players coming to the press conference.
You guys in the back, to the current players. I really appreciate you guys showing up. When I got the list of how many guys were coming and who was coming, it touched me, man. And I cannot wait to start building relationships with you guys. I can't wait to get to work with you guys. I promise I'll pour it all for you guys every single day. And I can't wait to just get this show going. You know, we'll get through today. We'll get through tomorrow. I told every single one of you I'll be reaching out to you. But this is for you guys. And the staff that we're going to put together is a pour into you guys. When I got some of those FaceTimes on that Sunday, whether it be from my family, some friends, the ones that fired me up the most was coming from you guys, and it got me just more excited to get going. So I appreciate you guys. Can't wait to get to work.
Wait till he goes to the first breakfast there at the facility, and he gets a bill for like $19.99 for his Cheerios and his toast there, Joe. He's not going to be happy about being in Arizona.
Wait, you mean $22 for a side of bacon? Like, wait a minute, what is going on here? But I'm the head yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the Bidwells. Yeah, no. There is, wait until he gets a load of that building and the ownership group here and how cheap they are. Well, as soon as he's got to go in there and ask for, I don't know, extra cleats or something. Wait to see what happens, Donnie.
Yeah, probably signed a 5-year deal, but it's paid out over the next 35 years here to maybe like $1 a day as a head coach. Congratulations there on being out with the Cardinals, but we'll see if he can succeed. An offensive guy follows after a defensive guy, Jonathan Gannon. Maybe it works in their favor. How about Pittsburgh? They're ready for the draft in 2026. Pittsburgh, some of the renderings here. They're officially on the clock.
Wow, look at that. Boy, it's, so good to see that the NFL just, not about the money, just about making sure they spread the draft to every. No, oh, wait a minute. What's it? Oh, it is about the money. Oh, it's about the bidding, Donnie. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's the NFL about the money. So just when I thought they'd want to go to, some of the legendary cities and football. Yeah, no, it has everything to do with the money. What a shock there, NFL.
Yeah. You know where the draft guys would like to be there? Like, hey, we're going to invite the top 20 down. Miami, Los Angeles, Las
exactly.
Vegas, a nice destination city. They even had these guys like, there's a reason why, hey, it's in Green Bay. Yeah, I'm not going to Green Bay to celebrate. I'd rather be in a nice little party atmosphere. Call me when I'm drafted. I'm not going to Green Bay at this point. How about this? Like, sometimes we overthink ourselves. Matt Ryan, I'm sure he wants to do a really good job as the president of operations in Atlanta. But he's saying, like, yeah, we got to have some conversations about our starting quarterback. What's the conversation? It's Penix. Is there any other conversation, Joe?
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think basically he's sending the message to Penix, and that
Come on.
nothing is guaranteed. But listen, he wasn't going to make the decision. He basically deferred it to Stefanski, but Stefanski was even less committal than he was. He talked about how he's got some really nice moments in the NFL, but it didn't sound overly. Nobody said this is our guy. We are invading. We're going to do everything. It was like, he's had some nice moments. Okay, doesn't sound convincing to me. Could Kirk Cousins return to there? Because we know Stefanski loves his veterans, right? Nobody loved Flacco more than Stefanski when he had young quarterbacks that he wasn't 100% trusting of. It'll be interesting to see what happens here.
I'll tell you what is interesting to see is who's the quarterback going to actually be for the Cleveland Browns, a team Stefanski actually left, Joe, because why? New Browns head coach Todd Monken wouldn't commit to Shedeur Sanders as a team starting quarterback. No kidding. At least he's speaking the truth right there. Yeah, he's excited working with these quarterbacks. We're excited about getting another quarterback in town.
Oh, yes. And maybe the best part about him was Monken just going up there and saying, I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I mean, just Jim Schwartz is likely putting in his resignation as we speak here, Donnie. But hey, listen, the only saving grace right now for the immediate Browns future is that defense until you can figure out the quarterback spot. And right now, Donnie, they don't have a quarterback, not one they can consider a franchise quarterback, and Shedeur ain't it.
No, absolutely not. And by the way, like Mike LaFleur took the job with Arizona. Don't you think for 1 minute he went into that, general manager meeting along with the Bidwells as the owners and goes, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this quarterback position. He has a plan. He's just not going to unveil it. And he also says he's not going to address the quarterback situation. He has a lot of respect for Kyler Murray. That's hint for, that's not my quarterback. He might have been a decent quarterback before. I don't think he's going forward with us, though.
Yeah, well, because I think it's out of his control, right? Because the Bidwells they overpaid him. They should not have paid him, and they're still going to pay him. I mean, you can't get rid of him without there being significant dead money that comes along with it. So you're probably stuck with him for at least one more season. You better make nice until you can figure something else out.
They better make nice till they figure something out at this point. You know who else should make nice here? DK Metcalf and that Detroit fan suing for $100 million.
Yes, it feels like he's suing everybody too, Donnie, not just him. Chad Johnson, Shannon Sharp, they're going. He's going scorched earth right now. I can't wait to see if a settlement comes out of this, because then I think there might be a few other guys willing to do the same antagonistic things there and see if he can get a player to punch him. My goodness.
Yeah, look, like that fan looks like he loves the media. It'll be interesting when he gets a check and then they go, we have to sign an NDA along with this check.
Yeah.
We're never going to hear the end of this one. You know that. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Final segment of the day going to include some best bets here. We'll take a look at where the public wants to go in our Fade the Public poll, but also more important, Cleveland, we weren't sure the head coach was going to be. Bit of a surprise it was Todd Monken. We're going to hear from Todd Monken here on what the team's plans are, and also I don't really think he included Jim Schwartz in those plans either. Let's hear from him.
My anticipation is we're not going to change the system. Very difficult to go against. I'm not planning on changing the system. We're built for the system that they're in currently. And I'm not going to get into staffing because that's not at this time to get into that. But they can be rest assured that we're going to keep the same system. We're still going to let them attack. We're still going to let them play free. I can't see any other way. They're a big reason why I took this job. The defensive players. I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I have a lot of respect for Jim Schwartz, but as I would hope he has for me. But I took it because of the players that are here. The ownership, Andrew Berry, and the ability to build this roster from the ground up on the offensive side. So, and I said this to the other guys. I didn't think I'd say it, but I'm going to say it. When I was preparing for the Cleveland Browns, I wasn't trying to chip Jim Schwartz. I was chipping Myles Garrett. And when I was sliding a protection to the outside backers or Grant Delpit that were blitzing off the edge, I was sliding the protection to the players. And when I was worried about throwing to the right against Denzel Ward or Tyson Campbell to the left, that's who I was worried about throwing at.
That sounds ridiculous. That they must hate each other, those two guys, even before Jim Schwartz thought he should get that job. There's no reason to go to a press conference and say, like, the defensive coordinator could have been anybody. I don't even care. And by the way, if Jim wants to come back, he can come back, but it's the players on there. He's no way he's coming back to the Cleveland Browns. They must have hated each other over the years.
I just love this. I mean, that is just priceless because, I mean, listen, every report up until yesterday we have heard is that Monken hadn't said anything about the future of Jim Schwartz, right, with Cleveland. But we also know that the Haslams love Jim Schwartz, and they had no intention. He's under contract. So they had no intention of letting him go no matter who they picked as the head coach. But my goodness, you want to talk about shots fired. What do you do now if you're Jim Schwartz? Oh, my goodness.